Enough! Risking our lives for a little girl who's gone! Enough! Living next to a bar full of things that are trying to kill us! Enough! Rick, it ain't like it was before!
Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh, and we got a nice video here today with Jon Bernthal talking about Shane's character and why he feels that character is still a fan favorite today, even only appearing in 2 seasons.
Yeah, so we love Jon Bernthal, as you guys know. We loved him as Shane, loved him as a Punisher, loved him a bunch of stuff. But Shane was a very interesting and compelling character. In the comics, a little bit of the same. I think they flushed it out a lot more in the show than what they did in the comics, from what I remember. Very similar.
Well, he obviously lasted a lot longer in the show.
In the show than the comics, yeah. So yeah, last month at a fan expo in Dallas, actually, he was asked by a fan for his take on why Shane remained a fan favorite character despite only starring in 2 seasons. The actor shared that he thinks Shane so quickly adapting to the apocalypse is part of what makes him so memorable. So Jon Bernthal says, quote, "I just think he was the first one to get it. You know what I mean?" Yes, we do. "He was the first one to understand what that world was, and what great writing by Frank Darabont, exactly, to figure that out. It was all perfectly mapped out. There's that scene where he's beating Ed by the river. He puts his hands on him. He hits him again, and you could see it. He's like, you know, man, I could just fucking keep hitting you, dude, and there's nobody that's going to do a damn thing about it. There's that discovery. Oh, shit, the world's changed. Then he's tracking the gun on Rick in season 1, and he gets him in his crosshairs. He's like, shit, I could actually just kill you and nothing would really happen. So he was the first one to start figuring out that the rules were different, and then, you know, it leads to Otis and leads to everything that happened," end quote. Bernthal can see the value in Shane coming to grips with the world being broken, while others were still harboring hopes that society might return to normal.
Yeah.
So what do you think about what he said?
I mean, I definitely agree with him, because when Shane is always the topic of a discussion between Walking Dead fans, the first question that always comes to fruition is, or comes to the forefront is, how would Shane have handled certain scenarios? Yeah. How would Shane handle the Whisperers? How would Shane handle Negan? You know, and all of that. And then
Alexandria.
Yeah, and then you see the scene, specifically Andrew Lincoln's exit, in the car, where the character Shane is telling Rick, like, I see glimpses of me in you, and you need to pull that out, or something along the lines of that. Basically, you need to go to that dark territory, like I used to, in order to survive.
How you bit that piece of shit's throat out. Asshole in the church with the red machete. That is what I'm talking about. That's the shit that I need from you, that I always knew you had in you. I knew you had it in you, Rick, and it is time. Kneel down. Dig deep. Find it, Rick. The rage, the hatred, find it. The loyalty is in there. Find it. It's in there, Rick.
Yeah, that was in the memories that Rick was having when he was essentially shot and dying. I love that, because Shane is still Shane. He's basically telling him, like, look, man, you fucked up. If you want to be a leader and be safe, you need to bring more of me out in your personality, because I was the one who knew all along. And that's not what he said, but it's basically what he was getting
mainly at. Like, to protect people, you got to go to that dark place that I know you can go to, because I've seen it. And look, we saw Shane even make the argument to oh gosh, Lori, how he's the only one that could protect them over Rick. Just a very strong character.
Yeah, you could see it when, before Rick returned, how Shane was basically the leader of the group, taking care of everyone. We're not really taking Lori into account, because that's a separate issue. But his feelings was he was the man. He was leading the group. He was protecting them, doing everything he can. You could kind of see it in Shane's face when he saw Rick was still alive, yes, you could see that in a way he was very glad to see his friend, but then he was like, fuck.
But they were scared of him.
Shane?
No, yeah.
The group was scared of Shane? Oh, yeah, they were scared of him.
You could see that in season 1, but when Rick came...
But they weren't going to do anything about it because he was still protecting them, but he was a little mad. After Rick came back, mostly.
Yeah. I mean, I make a lot of parallels between Shane and Negan, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they're both two strong characters that really adapted well to the apocalypse.
Yeah, they did.
Very well.
Yeah. I mean, you will say, yes, brutally for more Negan anyway, but Shane...
Absolutely.
I mean, he did some brutal stuff, too. He did what he had to do.
He sacrificed...
Did he have to kill Otis? No.
Otis, yeah.
But he did it because he was losing it by then. He was done. And he was done with Rick. And, and he was pissed because he lost Lori. And all that stuff just made him go even worse. But... we didn't really see that, if the group was really afraid of Shane before Rick got back. We knew that Dale never liked him anyway, but I'm sure that they probably had their challenges with Shane because he is very strong and he was probably like, no, we're going to do this and not give anybody else a say of, okay, let's do this instead. He's like, no, I'm the man. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle when Rick came back. You could definitely see it and up until the end. But Jon Bernthal loved Shane. I mean, he loves talking about him. He has podcasts all the time, and whenever it gets brought up, he speaks so passionately about Shane.
I mean, I think everybody loved the character.
Oh, yeah.
I don't hear too many people say that they hate that character, and honestly, I kind of wish he would have made it further than he did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that character had to go. There was no way you could keep him around.
Not for much longer, no. I mean, like we said, in the comics, it was pretty quick. In the show, they brought it out a little bit longer, and I'm just trying to think, could Shane have survived? Could Shane have been a good character and, if he was around for it, at minimum, another season? I don't know. Get into the prison with Shane?
Shane versus the governor? I don't even think that's a match.
No.
I mean, the governor had people, and that was his weapon, but Shane, I don't think would have allowed as much.
Do you think, so hypothetically, do you think Shane would have gravitated to other villains like the governor, like seeing how he does things?
Meaning,
like he wanted to,
be on their side?
In a way, yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
I just don't think that he was evil. I think the only reason why we saw Shane stab Rick in the back was solely based on Lori. He was obsessed with Lori.
He was obsessed, and he was jealous.
And I think that it wouldn't have went any further than that as far as being evil.
Yeah.
I just no.
Yeah. Because I can't remember. Did Shane and Rick kind of get into discussion? Did he or was it with Lori? I'm kind of thinking
Rick knew about it, they did have a discussion about it, I thought.
No,
Matter of fact, there was that one... Sorry, I don't know where you're going.
Yeah, I'm more talking about, did Shane actually say, it was me who kept everyone together?
I think he did.
Basically saying it was me who did everything right before you got here.
I think he said something like, he's the reason they got out of Atlanta.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could have swore I remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. I mean... He was. I mean,
he was the only one that did it.
He was the reason that you could make an argument that Rick survived, right? Because didn't he barricade the door?
He left him there. He knew he was in a coma. He barricaded the door.
He didn't think he was going to make it.
He didn't think he was going to make it. No. But yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's wild to think what Shane could have been if he would survive longer. Yeah, meeting our other villains, but
that's always the question.
It's always a question. Yeah, it'd be a cool multi-universe if Kirkman wrote it differently to where then Shane was the man and not Rick.
Yeah, it'd be I'd love that, especially against Negan.
Yeah. We had on a bunch of other older videos. I think we did a video about I think it was a video titled was Shane a true villain or not?
I remember that,
and it was very interesting in the comments because people. They weren't really against Shane. They were just they were kind of saying, well, Rick, he's done some bad stuff. He's really not the protagonist. He's kind of the villain too, right? It's
yeah, but you're taking Rick.
You're going back and forth.
You're taking Rick post Shane.
Correct.
Like, if you take them both at the same exact time, was Rick a villain? Absolutely not.
No. I mean, he had Ricktatorship, and Shane had Shane-tatorship.
He told his group what to do. He didn't kill Otis.
He didn't kill his own people, but it was just interesting, the comments of the people of, like, kind of saying the same thing. Man, you know, especially with comic book readers, like, man, what if Shane could have been like the governor, the Whisperers? Like, just imagine that. You know, what if Shane did kill Rick? You know?
I think Carl would eventually killed him.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, guys, it's just we love these types of videos when we hear actors, you know, just talking about their character. And, you know, Jon Bernthal, again, he's just so passionate about it when he talks about Shane. And we love the character to death. You know, it was very interesting. And I do agree with him. Like he said, you know, when he was punching Ed, nobody was doing anything about it. I think Carol was just there crying because she was getting beat anyway. But everyone wanted to see Ed die. But it was Shane who really was like, you know, all right, I'm done with this shit. I'm going to beat the hell out of you. And no one's going to do anything about it. And then you're never going to touch her again.
Yeah, and it was control for him. Like, he had to be in control.
Yeah. He had to control.
And when Rick came, he lost that control.
Yeah. I just see that scene. His eyes were just like, in a way, you have to think Shane, he was just like, no.
Oh, when he saw Rick?
Yeah, when Rick came back, he was like, no, because now I'm going to lose Lori. I'm probably going to lose the leadership. So, one last thing before we go. So, the best thing I loved about Shane, of how true his nature was about knowing this world, was the barn scene.
Yeah, you're right.
That speech right there to tell Herschel and Maggie and her family that these are not living people.
What is that?
They're dead. What is that?
What is that?
And he shoots them. Why is it still coming?
Yeah.
He said, I loved the line. He was like, Rick, this isn't like it was before. Yeah. He's basically telling everybody, this is not the world that we used to live in.
I think Rick knew that too. But
he was
Rick
just afraid.
had to appease to Herschel.
For saving Carl.
But Shane was the one that was strong enough to take action. And that's what Shane was, taking action. And it wasn't until, you know, Rick was forced into positions that he had to take action. Yeah. Shane took action, like, immediately.
Yeah, if something came up, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's not going to think really strategically about it like Rick does and like everyone else would. He just does it.
Hair trigger.
Yeah.
That's the best way to explain it.
Now, the only thing I did not like about Shane, a specific storyline which didn't last long, I was glad, was the whole Shane and Andrea thing.
Yeah, that was stupid.
It was just stupid.
So stupid. You know what was dumber than that? Andrea the Governor.
Yeah.
That's where they jumped the shark for me with Andrea.
Yeah, they blew that character. Yeah. So we've talked about it.
Anyway,
let us know your thoughts on Shane. Do you agree with Bernthal? Do you believe that Shane was right, that he was really the first one to truly get it, that you can't be soft in this new world? You got to be hard, and you got to do stuff. Get stuff done.
That sounds terrible.
It did sound terrible.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. I'm sounding like Charlie and Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You guys know that reference. But anyway, let us know your thoughts, and we will see you guys in the next one. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.